We're here! Retrospective number 50. This is a big one, a special one. It needs just a few more days to cook, so please be patient. But I suppose you deserve to hear a little bit about what makes this game so brilliant. I should tell you why I've chosen this game to represent the channel as we turn 1 year old. It was released to technical aplomb, widely regarded as a massive return to form for the team that made it, after the last few entries in the series had been a little bit more divisive. Really, it had been the Eastern versus Western cultural divide that had caused some of that damage. The priorities between the American and the Japanese head office had been different, and they hadn't seen eye to eye at all. The studio was very well regarded. They'd done big, well respected games before, and everyone saw this not just as a return to form, but the heralding of a new era. The story is epic. It features a war between living organisms and robotic AI machine creatures, all fighting for supremacy. They explore this dead civilization, one wiped out centuries before the game takes place, and there is this massive, brutal monster that threatens to destroy everything in its path. It's a third-person action-adventure game where you run around destroying these robots and rescuing the people you encounter on the way. It's not original. It plays on established adventure game tropes, but it has such a clear sense of self-identity, I couldn't help but fall in love with it. And the music. Oh, that soundtrack. Every moment is perfectly suited to the game, and it's some of the most immersive tracks in any video game. Most of it is instrumental, but when they bring the vocal tracks in for specific character themes, I was blown away. The thing that fascinated me is the way that the storyline is driven into the narrative. There's narrated cutscenes before and after each mission, and you can revisit areas you've already completed to do optional side missions. But for me, the focus was on the story. The team really wanted to tell an epic tale, and one of the ways that they wanted to do that was by having multiple endings. When you start, you play through the game with the main character focusing on the mission ahead. Someone who doesn't stop and think about the wider consequences and just focuses on the challenge one at a time. But after you beat the game as them, you see the story from start to finish. You can then replay that same adventure from another perspective. It's the same game, same story, but the cutscenes are all slightly different. It's written from another perspective. The focus and the emphasis is ever so slightly different on the words. The events are the same, but the meaning has changed. The second playthrough stars a whole other protagonist you met on the original journey, someone slightly weaker who seeks to prove themselves to gain recognition and respect from the original protagonist. And they have extra skills and abilities that that person never had, offering new gameplay twists and abilities. And when you complete the game, it's not over. There are even more endings to discover after those two. You have to replay the game several times over, experiencing roughly, though not exactly, the same events from different perspectives, and with each playthrough you learn slightly more about what's really going on. You discover the true threat, hidden behind the enemy ahead, and as you gain knowledge you gain the power to face up against this person. The final ending is a grand battle against fate itself. That's why I would seriously recommend you check out this game, and why Nier Automata is going to be A Friend Recalls episode 50. Wait, hold up, that's not right. What's up? We're not reviewing Nier Automata. We're reviewing Sonic Adventure. Everything I said before holds true. And I'm sure we'll get to Nier Automata one day. I don't know what I have to say about it that's truly original, but I'll get there. It's well worth your time. But the thing that struck me the most when playing through it was a feeling, a sensation, a mood that the game put me in that I only feel occasionally. For some reason, one I think I'll struggle to put into words, the game I most associate with that feeling that Nier Automata gave me was when I originally played Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. Yes, the two games are worlds apart, but that sense of unbridled ambition from a small team to produce a peerless adventure game, and largely succeeding. It's not perfect, it's a bit more messy than I'd like, but the heart and the soul of the game is there, bright and visible for all to see. The initial link in my head, I think, was that thing that everyone praises Nier Automata for, the multiple endings, the need to replay the game, the revisiting the same storyline from new perspectives to produce different endings. It was a concept I knew I'd seen before. That set the association in my mind, but I never realised that playing through it, I'd find so many more links, find such a strong association in between the visions of the two teams. Yeah, one of them is a hyper-adult anime waifu character hacking and slashing through robots, whilst the other is a hedgehog ripped straight out of kids' cartoons. But those are merely aesthetics. The heart, the soul, the ambition to take what is really a simple, mechanical platform-driven game loop and tell a grand adventure with all of the tools available at the time is the same. And so next week, A Friend Recalls episode 50 will be looking at Sonic Adventure. And to keep your interest until then, here's a nice little something I've been testing out upscaling technologies with over the last few weeks.
Sonic Team.